The following is an Infinity One Productions presentation, keeping it honest, insightful, interactive. You're listening to the RCWR show with Lee Sanders.
All right, it is now time to take a look at the 27th annual Survivor Series pay-per-view card that's going to be coming our way this Sunday, November 24th at the TD Garden Arena in John Cena's home turf, Boston, Massachusetts. It's another installment of the RCWR show. Call that match. All right, so for the Survivor Series kickoff, we have Kofi Kingston taking on The Miz singles match. Now, remember what had came about from Monday's WWE Raw, where we saw the team of Kofi Kingston and The Miz, or as the way I've been dubbing them the past few times I've seen them teamed up together to be in tag team action. I've actually called them Awesome Boom. I can't believe WWE missed the opportunity right there to give them that name. Would have made some great logo shirts and all that. Gives me an idea. But anyway, we had saw them involved in a tag match against Antonio Cesaro and Jack Swagger, aka the Real Americans. Kofi Kingston was in dire need of tagging in his partner Miz telling him, trying to encourage him to come tag him in, make that hot tag, when all of a sudden Miz just suddenly exit. He just said, never mind. And that was officially the heel turn, if that's what you want to call it, from Mike the Miz Mazarian, as Kofi Kingston had suffered a grueling defeat at the hands of Real Americans. So we have this Survivor Series kickoff. It looks like WWE, they are now trying to play with the whole Miz as a heel once again. I like Kofi Kingston. I love this guy a lot. I'm looking at The Miz, though. We've seen The Miz be a heel. I guess this is WWE's way of trying to make us feel somewhat invested in The Miz. I get that, but I just don't care. I don't know what it is, but there's something about The Miz. I just can't stand him. I can't even stand him when he's doing commentating on Main Event with Josh Matthews. I would prefer it if Josh Matthews was just flying solo. That's just my cup of tea, quite honestly. I love Alex Riley, by the way. I would like to see him be the permanent guy for Main Event. Hopefully 2014 that can be the case, but I think you guys see where I'm going with this. You can put Miz in a different style set of clothes. You could put him in a different setting. It's still going to be the same. I really don't think that fans are going to be able to get behind this. But looking into this match that we have, honestly, you gotta have this new heel turn for The Miz go off on the right note. You gotta have Miz go over Kofi Kingston. Otherwise, it's gonna defeat the whole purpose of turning him heel earlier this week. I got Miz going over hook or by crook. Next up, we have Natalya, who we got to show a special shout out to, as she had recently followed us on Twitter. Matter of fact, it was fresh after Raw had went off the air. We appreciate that. Thank you so much, Natalya. She's such a sweetheart, and we definitely have been fans of her work for a long time. We aren't just saying that, but the lovely Natalya, she teams up with the Bella Twins and the Funkadelics, Naomi and Cameron, along with the other Total Diva girls from Eva Marie, and JoJo, to take on AJ Lee, Tamina Snuka, Alicia Fox, Asuka, Summer Rae, and Caitlyn in a traditional Survivor Series Elimination Tag Team Match. Now, I can't help but look at all these names that was brought up here, and I'm looking at the heel side of things, and Caitlyn, maybe I'm missing something right here, but I'm seeing this and I'm saying, what the heck is Caitlyn doing on the heel side? I haven't seen Caitlyn go the whole heel route, so it's kind of like, What's going on right here? Now, the last time that we saw Caitlyn, most recently she did do the Diva Country Music Cheers alongside Asuka, Alicia Fox, and Rosa Mendez, well as Summer Rae, as we saw that whole brawl had come about on the episode of Raw from this week. But other than that, you kind of go a little bit before that. I think it might have been around October. She teamed with Eva Marie and Natalya in a losing effort against Brie Bella and the Funkadelics. So you're kind of looking at that and you're kind of saying, why is she on the heel side of things? I think she might actually help out the baby faces, quite honestly. I think, honestly, it's about damn time that we see the Divas get their own little spotlight. We see them get their own time. And I think this is definitely going to be one of those Divas matches that's going to have a lot of time into it. It's not going to be one of those quick type of matches. I think they'll probably stretch this out, maybe about 12 minutes. I mean, you got a lot of girls that's going to be in there. And I think, honestly, WWE is playing it a little bit smart right now by not having this match be a Divas title match, because let's not forget of what had happened in London with the little health scare of AJ Lee. Notice how they brilliantly mocked that, by the way, with Vicky Guerrero taking on AJ Lee this past week. Some hilarious stuff right there. But I think WWE is playing it pretty smart right here in the fact that they're not having AJ defend the title. I don't really think we're going to see that much in-ring action of her. Hopefully she gets to take it easy just a little bit more till they know for sure after running a little bit more tests that she's going to be okay. But for this match, I'm looking very forward to it. I can't wait to see this. It's very rare that I actually get excited about a Divas match. So I'm looking forward to checking this out. As far as who I think is going to win, like I said, you got Caitlyn just being thrown in there with the other heel divas. I've got her helping out the Bella Twins, Natalya, and the Funkadelics. I'm telling you, look for it. I got the babyface divas winning. Let's go on to our next match, which sees CM Punk teaming up with the Beard, Daniel Bryan, to take on the Wyatt family, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. That's right, we got us a tag team match right there. This is it right here. This is the Wyatt family's official, okay, show me what you're working with. Show me what you're working with. And that's how I'm kind of looking at this right here. Honestly, I know a lot of fans are probably going to hate me for this, but I'm looking at this and you just think about how WWE have just catapulted the Wyatt family in recent weeks. You have to have that momentum continue. I think if you have Luke Harper, Eric Rowan suffer a defeat at the hands of CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, I really think it will hurt them significantly. I don't think it would be in a way where they wouldn't be able to bounce back from it, but at the same time, I think you want to have these guys get off to a good start. And let's not forget, Bray Wyatt, he's going to be playing some type of a factor in this match. He's going to be that equalizer, if you will. But I think with this particular match right here on this pay-per-view, having the Wyatt family be involved with two former WWE champions, CM Punk and Daniel Bryan are in that position right now, whether some fans want to admit it or not. They're in that position where they can suffer a defeat and still have the crowd support in their favor. And for that reason, that's why I'm looking at the Wyatt families, Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, to pick up the win. I expect Bray Wyatt to play a huge hand in this match. Possibly we might even see a disqualification come about from Bray getting involved a little bit too much. But when it's all said and done, I got the Wyatts going over. Let's talk about our next traditional Survivor Series Elimination Tag Match. Shoo, man, this is a good card right here, too. We got Goldust and Cody Rhodes teaming up with the Usos, Jimmy and Jey Uso, and a returning Rey Mysterio to take on all three members of the Shield. That's right, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. And the Real Americans, Antonio Cesaro and Jack Swagger. Now, I want to put the spotlight on Rey Mysterio, as we had got those reports coming in that after Raw went off the air, Rey was seen to be favoring his knees and he was limping his way to the backstage area. This is a guy right here. He has had reconstructive knee surgery, I don't know how many times, and yet this guy continues to come in and he continues to wrestle the way that he did almost when he was first breaking out. I mean, it's changed a little bit dramatically, but he's still doing some risque moves that just make you go, man, why isn't this guy in a wheelchair already? You know, I'm looking at that. I'm taking in those reports. Because, even before Raw went off the air, I actually saw the limping as he was making his way to the ring. Almost had a couple of botch moves there going on as well. Rey Mysterio, I'm glad to see him back, but I actually would not be that surprised if the card may change come Sunday. Don't be too surprised if maybe, just maybe, Rey Mysterio might not even be involved in that match. It could be a scenario where I'm hoping that maybe during the Survivor Series kickoff special, if it was me, here's what I would do. I would have the Shield, or maybe even Real Americans, get their hands on Rey Mysterio. I would more like to see the Real Americans do some serious damage to Rey Mysterio during the Survivor Series kickoff special, somewhat of in a backstage segment, if you will. I would like to see them jump him. A little bit of payback for what had went down at the end of Raw. As remember, Rey Mysterio, he did attack the two of those guys. And basically, they beat him up so bad, you're just kind of left with that question, well, what's going to happen in that Survivor Series Elimination Tag Match? Is Rey Mysterio going to be able to show up? And then we get word that Rey Mysterio, he medically didn't get cleared. He's not going to be able to do it. But there is a participant that will be coming in to take his place. Who might that person be? Cue it up, boys and girls. Somebody's going to get their ass kicked. Somebody's going to get their ass whipped. Beat him up, break his neck. Yeah, I'm talking about the one and only Mark Henry. I think it would be badass to see Mark Henry come on back. You know, WWE was kind of playing around with the idea of making him be a babyface. Hey, great opportunity right there. What better way than to team him up with those guys? There's already history right there with Jimmy and Jey Uso. He's helped them out in the past. They've helped him out when he was taking on the Shield there. So it makes perfect sense to have Mark Henry slide on in there. Hell, you could even go the Christian route. Even Christian has that same history with Jimmy and Jey Uso, as Christian was also a victim at the hands of the Shield several months back. So I would lean more towards Mark Henry, but I'll settle for Christian as well. But I really think they need to get Rey Mysterio out of there. I don't think it makes sense for him to just be there, do something for 5 seconds, and that's pretty much it. I think fans should really get their money's worth. And honestly, I think Rey Mysterio should be saved just for Raw, maybe SmackDown, kind of do it like that. But as far as this Elimination Tag Team match goes, man, Cody Rhodes, Goldust, the Usos, all those guys, they are just on such a streak right now. I gotta go with the baby faces once again, man. I gotta side with them. If you guys want me to break down the whole who it might come down to and all that, we're not gonna do it like that. I mean, that's just really jumping out there. I'm not gonna do that. Personal pick though, if you want me to jump out there, I wouldn't mind seeing it come down to Dean Ambrose and Cody Rhodes, or Dean Ambrose and Goldust. I think that would be a very interesting combination to pretty much end the night. But I got the team of Goldust, Cody Rhodes, the Usos, with a pending Rey Mysterio. But let's just take him out of there. If it was me, I'm doing this card. I'm going to put Mark Henry in there or Christian. But I got the babyface team picking up the win right there. All right, one of the most important matches of the night. It is for the World Heavyweight Championship as the Doctor of Thugonomics, Hustle, Loyalty, Respect, John Cena defends his title against Alberto Del Rio. So, this is a match right here where, honestly, I can't really get behind it. I just can't. I'm going to tell you the reason why. And I'm going to tell it to you once again. Just one more time. You go back to Raw this past week. John Cena. Oh, poor me. My arm is in a sling. I think I might have came back too soon. Then we see ADR come out. He thinks he's going to be able to throw more insult to injury. Attack John Cena again. John Cena just takes off the sling. Turns out he tricked ADR. Just the way that whole finish had came about, that just sucked the momentum out of the match for me. It just really has me say, okay, John Cena, he's probably going to go over Alberto Del Rio, right? Or is Alberto Del Rio the one that really needs this victory? I mean, just look at it right there. I mean, on the one hand, if you have Alberto Del Rio go over John Cena for the World Heavyweight title, what better way to do that than in John Cena's home turf of Boston, Massachusetts? Would make a lot of sense. You talk about getting such great mega heat. But I'm really starting to feel that Alberto Del Rio has ran his course in the main event picture. I think that, as we mentioned earlier, Alberto Del Rio, he is going to be in need of a dire major shakeup. And I think, honestly, with the way things are going right here between John Cena and Alberto Del Rio, this is pretty much their first time, if you will, locking it up for the World Heavyweight Championship. I'm sorry, I hate to do this, but John Cena's going to go over. He's going to go over. If there was any type of doubt that could have gone into my mind leading into this match, it would have been when John Cena had his arm in the sling. Just how badass would that have been if Alberto Del Rio would have just came out on Monday Night Raw looking at John Cena's arm in the sling and saying to him, hey, I got you right where I want you. Sunday, Survivor Series, I'm going to be the new World Heavyweight Champion. Just wait and see. And John Cena could have just had that sorry, sad expression on his face. Like, man, am I possibly going to lose my World Heavyweight title? And then you come to the match, John Cena, he still has that sad look on his face. The bell rings. John Cena throws up a finger to ADR. Just wait a minute before this goes down. And he just takes the sling off. And then, boom, right there. Turns out he tricked the hell out of ADR. I just think that would have showed somewhat of a new layer to John Cena, if you will. That's just me. I could be wrong on that, but I just felt it would have been nice to kind of get it a little freshened up from time to time from John Cena. 10 years of pretty much the same old stuff, if you will. God. But in either case, I see John Cena going over Alberto Del Rio to retain the title. Now, I'm kind of also keeping into consideration that Damian Sandow could play a vital role in this match. Remember, he said that he was going to do everything in his power to see to it that the John Cena era comes to an end. Might Damian Sandow play a role in this match? Might he sabotage John Cena in a way that could see Alberto Del Rio getting the World Heavyweight title? It's a strong possibility. I really wouldn't rule it out. If I was booking this, I would actually have Damian Sandow cost John Cena the World Heavyweight title. But then you kind of have to look into the future and say that without a doubt we would probably see some type of a triple threat match come about next, involving all three of those guys. But I wouldn't mind seeing it booked like that, but I don't think WWE is going to go that route, although it would be nice. In this case, I got to go with John Cena for the retain. Let me know what you guys think in particular about that match. We got one more match. It is Randy Orton taking on Big Show for the WWE Championship. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe I heard this right. This is supposed to be a no DQ match. I could be wrong on that, but it looks like last we checked, looks like it's just going to be a normal match. We'll see what happens when the pay-per-view comes about. But I could have sworn it was going to be a no DQ match. But in either case, here is a match right here where the Authority, known as Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, they have informed Randy Orton that he will have to go into his match against the Big Show alone. There will be no Shield. Nobody is going to be there to back him up. He's going to have to prove to them, everybody in the locker room, that he truly is the face of the WWE. You go over to Big Show. Big Show, he won his job back as he had a very slam dunk lawsuit that was going on there. He could have damn near owned the WWE, but he decided that all he wanted was his job back, and he just wanted the title shot. So, Big Show in a very serious position right here. This is a match right here where I'm most curious. Now, look, Big Show, I don't see him getting the WWE Championship, although you know what? I think if anybody is deserving of being a WWE champion right now, I think for all the bullcrap that Big Show has gone through in the WWE, he's been involved in some of the most ridiculous storylines. Let's not also forget some of the most ridiculous WrestleMania matches ever. Let's not forget he lost to Floyd Mayweather. That was still so heartbreaking. I still remember that whole match, the way it went down verbatim. Is quite sad, but he's gone through so much crap in the WWE. How fitting would it be to see the 7'2", 500-pound giant walk out of Boston, Massachusetts as the WWE champion? Could you just imagine the markout moment that would come from the WWE fans? I mean, here's the thing. And you know how Boston is. You know Boston is one of those wrestling crowds that is just super white freaking hot. They love their wrestling. They are passionate fans. You know, if you can't make it in front of a Boston crowd, you're not really going to be able to make it anywhere. Boston, Massachusetts is one of those type of cities when it comes to its wrestling. They can make or break a star's career. That's the truth. We've seen it time and time and time again. And honestly, despite the fact that Randy Orton, he seems somewhat of a repackaged Viper of old, if you will. That Randy Orton that we loved maybe 5-6 years ago. You know, the Boston crowd, they probably are going to be leaning a little bit more towards Big Show. And again, WWE, they have the Boston, Massachusetts crowd right where they want them. You know, right? They got them right where they need them to be. Where if they want to do this, if they want to make something magical happen, something monumental, make Big Show the WWE champion. And for those of you that's keeping track at home, as far as the titles that Big Show has won since he's been in the WWE, you know, we should definitely point out that of all the titles that he's held, Big Show has held the WWF/WWE title only twice. So, it's kind of rare that he gets it there. So, keeping that in mind, man, if it was me, I would actually have Big Show go over. I would actually have Big Show go over as WWE champion. But then you're looking at that and you're kind of saying to yourself, well, damn, Lee, if you're going to put the belt on Big Show, what does that mean for Randy Orton? Well, it means for Randy Orton one thing, that he was never the true face of the WWE, and that he was in the position that he was in simply because Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, they gave him that backing power. And furthermore, he basically had the backing of the Shield, give or take. I think it would just prove a lot of things to them, and it would definitely be friction amongst that trio. But I'm deciding to put the title on Big Show because you already have that main story arc that's there with Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, the whole lawsuit deal and all that. I think they have a lot more leg room if Big Show gets the WWE Championship, because now that Big Show is the WWE Champion, Triple H and Stephanie, they're going to have to play ball with him. Understand me, folks. You can't have Big Show go into this match, lose, and then it's kind of like, well, where the hell is Big Show going to go from there? Honestly, this is a position right here where if Big Show doesn't become the WWE Champion, what's that? He signed a 5-year contract? I don't know. He may never come as close to the WWE title ever again. I think now is the time that you pull the trigger and you go with the momentum. You go and you listen to the fans. The fans love Big Show right now. And honestly, Boston, Massachusetts, it would definitely be a mark out moment for them to see Big Show as the new WWE champion. And again, think about the fallout afterwards. Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, they gotta try to play kiss up to the Big Show. And hey, he isn't gonna sit through that crap because he knows he's the face of the WWE. And just think about all the weeks worth of programming that could come about from WWE as the Authority continues to try to stick it to the Big Show and figure out ways to get the title off of him, which would in turn, if they handle it right, set up a imminent return of the one and only WWE chairman, Vince McMahon. This is the route that WWE has to go. For them to not, you talk about a huge missed opportunity right here. Definitely would be very bad for business, I feel. But on this night of Survivor Series coming up, I got to see Big Show go over as WWE Champion. And folks, that is all the matches. One more time, let us take it from the bottom and work our way to the top. So, for the Survivor Series kickoff special, I have The Miz needing a much-needed victory now that he's gone the heel route over Kofi Kingston. For the traditional Survivor Series Elimination Tag Match between Natalya, the Bella Twins, Funkadelics, Eva Marie, and JoJo, I have them picking up a victory over AJ Lee, Tamina Snuka, Caitlyn, Alicia Fox, Rosa Mendez, Asuka, and Summer Rae. For the second Survivor Series Elimination Tag Match, I have the team of Cody Rhodes, Goldust, the Usos, going over the Shield, and the Real Americans. Don't be too surprised if Rey Mysterio is possibly removed and replaced by maybe Mark Henry or Christian. CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, they're going to have to lose to the Wyatt family, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, as I feel this is really, if you will, the Wyatt family's official debut, if you will, as far as working with main eventers. I really need to see these guys go over the two former WWE champions. John Cena in Boston, Massachusetts. He's going to do what's necessary. I think he's going to get the job done. He's going to retain his World Heavyweight Championship. Might Damian Sandow play a factor in this match, though? And for the WWE Championship, I went at great length about this. And I think now that I've explained it, you guys definitely agree with me. Big Show has to go over Randy Orton to become the new WWE Champion. And again, for it to not happen, definitely bad for business, I feel. And folks, there you have it. Hey, what are your match predictions? We'd love to hear from you. Interact with us right now. Take your pick. YouTube.com/The RCWR Show. Twitter @The RCWR Show. Hit us up on Facebook at Infinity One Productions. If you are spot on, we will definitely show you love this Sunday when we get ready to do the WWE Survivor Series post show, as we're going to be covering full Fallout match breakdown, overall review of the pay-per-view with you, the fans. Yes, you, the fans. We will get your live fan reactions, whether it be on social media or in our chat room or our open phone lines. We give you guys the necessary tools that's needed so that you can interact with us and let us know what you had thought about the pay-per-view. So make sure you join us for that this Sunday at 11 p.m. Eastern, or immediately after the pay-per-view goes off the air. That's this Sunday, November 24th at blogtalkradio.com and also on YouTube. Gonna miss the live episode? No problem. We got the episode available for you on demand once we are off the air. Check us out on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio. Use the keywords The RCWR Show.